Many schools canceled classes today or delayed the start of school due to the power outages and all the damage and the debris on the road. Strong wind gusts continuing, but weaker than what we saw overnight. Rhode Island government state offices are open today. And our pinpoint weather team coverage this noontime will continue with a number of reporters out in the field. Yeah, we have coverage from Metro Providence, the South County, the East Bay, and southeastern Massachusetts. Also get an update on the futurecast from Michelle as well. But first, we start in Warwick. Governor Raimondo, Mayor Scott Avedisian out surveying the damage this morning in the Connecticut Point area. That's one of the hardest hit areas of that city. And Eyewitness News reporter Rosie Wood spoke with both of those officials. She's live now with the very latest from our mobile newsroom.
That's right. Now it's very windy out here right now. We've been seeing lots of trees, poles, electrical wires down. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see exactly what we're looking at here behind me. Now this is Burnett Road. We've actually been seeing at least 4 of these poles were down when I first got here around 10 o'clock this morning. Crews are working very hard right now to get everything back up and running, but there's still a lot of wires down on these roads. You can't even go on most of these roads because there's so much work being done. And there was a lot of strong wind here overnight. Even right now, my hat actually just flew off a couple of minutes ago. That's how strong the wind is. And just perpendicular to this road is Chapin Avenue. That's where you can see more power lines and electrical wires sprawled on lawns and hanging low above the street. But it's the extremely large tree that's blocking Chapin that's getting the most attention. One resident's car was completely smashed by the tree, while electrical cords in the garbage cans remain trapped underneath. And with scenes like this all over the city, Mayor Avedisian and Governor Raimondo tell me they are working to get the community back to working order as soon as possible.
We still have over 100,000 people now without power, so major power outages, lots of trees down. You know, I've been working with National Grid all morning. What I would say is if you can stay home, please stay home so we can get things cleaned up as much as possible. It could be a couple days though before everybody's back up with power.
Now, at last check, there was still at least 12,000 residents here in Warwick without power, so stay with us online as well as on air for updates throughout the day. Live in Warwick, Rosie Woods, Eyewitness News. All right, let's head south now to Narragansett. The surf there flooding roads last night. And Eyewitness News reporter Tom Wallace is monitoring the conditions in that part of the state. He's live now from the mobile newsroom for us this noontime. Todd, what's the scene like right now in Narragansett?
Well, Danielle and Patrick, really the aftermath of this storm here can still be seen and felt. And waves are just as impressive now as they were earlier this morning when we first arrived around 4:15. Waves crashed against and eventually rose above the seawall, flooding areas like Boston Neck Road and a little further down on Boston Neck Road. A toppled tree on one side and on the other side a telephone pole precariously leaning against power lines. Narragansett Fire Chief Scott Partington says this fast-moving storm was very powerful.
This was a severe storm. It really came fast, quickly, impacted us pretty much just how they had forecasted it. It really did affect the power outages in the area.
Chief Partington says that most of the debris has been cleared now in the roadways. The biggest problem now, power outages. Danielle and Patrick?
All right, so Todd, when you talked to the chief, did he say exactly how many homes are without power right now and where the areas are that are impacted? Todd must be having some difficulty with his audio, so we'll be checking in with Todd to hear more from Narragansett coming up later in the show. Now on to portions of the East Bay, also dealing with the after effects of the storm this morning.
That's right. Many roads remain blocked by these large fallen trees. Residents having to find alternative ways to get around the storm, also forcing cancellation of schools in that town today as power outages continue. Eyewitness News reporter Eric Halpern live in Barrington right now with a look at the conditions right now. Eric?
Patrick, this home behind me is just one of the homes dealing with a tree that fell into the home partly through the roof. You can see up on the roof there, part of this tree still sitting there. On the side of this home, the tree where it scratched that home. Water or glass in this home, the homeowner tells me. And this is just one of the trees again in this neighborhood here. The wire's still across the road here. You might be able to hear the generators and trees being cut up around this neighborhood, as this neighborhood, just like so many others in our area, now dealing with cleanup. A tree now resting on top of this Barrington home on New Meadow Road. A boy's bedroom littered with debris where it fell through overnight.
It's the scariest thing is hearing the crash and knowing your kids are upstairs. It's crazy.
Jenny Fitzpatrick's son was not home when the tree came crashing through, but her daughter was asleep upstairs in a nearby room.
I knew something had come through the roof, and I jumped out of bed and ran upstairs yelling for my daughter, who wasn't answering me. It was a little bit intense.
A similar situation at another home in this same neighborhood. Cleanup well underway around the block. This giant tree uprooted, toppling onto this house.
Some people have described it as a bomb, but I mean, it was loud when it hit the house.
Jack Walter says the tree also fell into his son's room, now covered with water and broken glass. Both of these trees fell around midnight, and thankfully, no one at either home was hurt.
You can't stop Mother Nature, you just gotta roll with it.
And as the cleanup continues here, the homeowners tell me they're now in talks with the insurance companies and figuring out how they're going to get these trees out of here. Live in Barrington, I'm Eric Halpern, Eyewitness News.
National Grid also dealing with a minor collision. Just after midnight, it happened on Route 146, right near the Lincoln North Providence line. National Grid truck and a box truck collided. The National Grid truck flipped onto its side. The box truck was pushed off the road. Parts of the highway briefly closed in that area as crews worked to clear the scene. Police say all of the injuries there were minor.
And as we've been saying all along, thousands of people are still without power as National Grid is continuing to work to try to restore service.
Ted Cressley from National Grid joining us now with more on where things stand this afternoon. And Ted, there's a lot of people without power right now. What is the latest on how quickly some of these people might be getting the lights back on?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. Well, I got to tell you, we're going to need some patience from folks today. There's some significant outages, as you reported, over 145,000 right now. And this storm that came through, you know, it had quite the punch. We are seeing extensive damage in a lot of different areas, and we're probably looking at multi-day restoration here. So, you know, we're out there assessing the problems now, and our crews are out there. We're doing everything possible to get folks up and running, but we're really going to need patience. This could be sort of, you know, long-term outage. I think we're talking certainly hours, if not a day or two.
Now, Ted, some folks this morning were a little bit critical on social media about not being able to immediately respond to things in the middle of the night after the storm had blown through. But explain to some of our viewers why you had to make that call to wait a little bit of time before you were sending your crews out.
Sure. Well, safety is our top priority here at National Grid, and that extends to our customers, but also our employees. And when you have conditions where, you know, 80-mile-per-hour winds and rain coming down, and you know, a lot of the trees that still have leaves on them and they're wet, and there's branches and limbs falling all over the place. I mean, we're just not going to endanger our employees. So you know, we've got to err on the side of caution when it comes to that. As soon as the weather, you know, calms down a little bit, then we send our folks out there, and you know, we're out there in the storms, and we're looking to get our customers back up as soon as possible. But obviously safety has to play a role in that as well.
Ted, final question. In some cases when there's a hurricane coming or a tropical storm or, say, a blizzard or major nor'easter where you've had a chance to maybe have more preparation, a plan in place where you bring in crews from other states or other regions to come and be prepared to fix power outages. Was that the case this time? Did you have crews on standby from other areas knowing what was coming, or is this one of those types of storms that maybe came in a little bit stronger than you folks expected?
Well, you know, I think it certainly is stronger than folks expected. I mean, we did have crews in place on standby. You know, we have extra crews at the ready, and they're out there now, and we'll be looking to, you know, add additional crews. The challenge will be is that this really hit a big chunk of the Northeast here, and so our neighboring states were all going to be looking for that extra assistance. But, you know, National Grid is very, very strong on preparedness, and, you know, we'll do everything we can to get folks back up as soon as possible. We just do ask for their patience.
All right, Ted, we will be passing that along as well. Patience urged from everyone waiting for their power today. We appreciate you joining us this noontime, Ted.
Thanks, guys.